the climax of this year's Betfair World Snooker Championship. Barry Hawkins breaking off in the 16th frame, and boy has he put a fight up to Ronnie O'Sullivan. There's been a couple of frames he lost in this match that he perhaps could have won, so it could have been oh so much closer, but O'Sullivan, every time his back's against the wall, Stephen, he's produced.
Yeah, he's found another gear, hasn't he? When you look at the 3 sessions, Ronnie's won 2 of them 5-3 and the other one 5-4. So mathematically it's not been easy, but the way he's gone ahead of Barry whenever he's been in trouble has looked easy.
Well, the first mistake of the evening has gone to Ronnie O'Sullivan, but he doesn't appear to have done any damage. Missed the long putt by quite a long way, but unlucky to going off. This is just a case, Stephen, isn't it, to just play no miss snooker really for Barry to get back into the match.
Yeah, I must admit this first frame is huge for Barry if he wants to, at the very least, take this final into the second session tonight. I feel if Ronnie wins the first frame, he might go in and win the next 2. That's an excellent safety. He's loved this Willie, this final. He's really enjoyed it.
I'm so pleased for Barry. There was his family. We saw a shot of them. Father Steve, Caroline, mother, sister Tanya, and they've absolutely been enthralled the way Barry's. But we've all known that Barry's been a great player for a long, long time. But after the semi-final, he must have been a little bit embarrassed the way he played. But this final is proof to everybody that he's a force to be reckoned with.
Well, it's an excellent reply from Sullivan. Again, back to Barry. Yeah, I hope he just takes all the positives from this World Championship and goes into the new season believing he can be a multiple winner, not just maybe one ranking tournament season, win 2 or 3.
Taking this pot on, the one that's just below the pink spot there, there's the pot success rate. Barry over 91%. Normally, that would be enough to be in front in a match, but when you're playing O'Sullivan, things are not quite normal sometimes. And you think they've played 25 frames and he's still got a 94% pot success rate. Incredible, really. Red going over the corner, needs the blue or yellow to come to his rescue. And there may be a gap, not quite though. Well, obviously no problem getting back into baulk, but he feels it's too risky to try and cover the red, so he's just playing the roll up here. He's got to be careful in going off, because if he doesn't push the red safe and goes in off, he'll be in trouble. Well done. excellent pot. And perfect on the green or the brown. These give you so much confidence, Steve, don't they, when you knock one of these in?
Yeah, you would think if he'd missed that, the cue ball would be careering into the reds, and he's certain to leave Freeman an opportunity on. But as you say, it gives you great confidence to pot them. Perfect angle in the green. Can virtually put the cue ball where he wants from that position.
And he's not done very well, to be honest. He'd have liked to have been on the two reds to the right-hand side of the pack. The red in the middle, hampered queuing, is not straightforward.
In the end, he'd done well to pot this, but he was only able to concentrate in the pot. Couldn't play position. Couldn't get the right side of the blue. So this is a tester. I'll screw back for the blue. You've got to hit these right.
10.
Stephen mentioned had to go up for
11.
blue or ball colour there. And it all depends about the red above the black. If that pot's in the corner pocket, you've got every chance of in a few seconds time, a few shots time, bringing that black into play. But you need to be on the blue though to get onto that red. Well, mind you, it looks like he's played for it now. Needs to slow up a little bit. Needs to put the brakes on. Just
14.
got the wrong angle on the. He's seeing if he can finish on the black. There you can see the angle is not good. If that cue ball would have stopped 2 or 3 inches before that, he'd have been able to get onto the black. He still feels though he might be able to.
$15.
Well, done very well there. Looked to didn't have the angle to get this close to the black. Really had to nip the cue ball there.
I think that was a prime example, Stephen, what is a player pinching the pocket, you know, playing it off a jaw. That's how good these players can be when they're in stroke, and Barry Hawkins obviously cueing very
22.
well now. Had to get the black back into play. He's done that. Well, he's perfect on the red in the right-hand corner, but obviously the black's not available into the left-hand corner, so he's looking for a chance to go top side of the blue again. Oh, didn't quite get it just right.
23.
So unless he pots a good yellow, that could be under break. Got to swing it round in between brown and pink and off 2 cushions and back on a red in the left-hand corner, because that's where he can get onto the black if he gets onto one of those reds. Needs to miss that blue.
25.
That really is a fantastic shot from the rest. To control the cue ball, you've got to keep so still. The cue's got to go in such a straight line. And now this is a frame winning opportunity after that shot.
It's the only department that Barry's not competing, is the break building department, winning frames at one
33.
visit. I mean, he's had more table time than Ronnie O'Sullivan in this match. He's had 51% of the table time, so he's been on the table more than Ronnie.
34.
Just got to start making every chance a frame winning chance, and this is the one. He'd be very disappointed if he didn't win the frame from here.
41. $42. $49.
53-point lead. So 2 more reds, 2 blacks at least, and they've done what Stephen suggested he needed to do. Just let Ronnie Sullivan
50.
knows he's not going to lie down, take the match beyond the interval. And there's the magnificent view from this packed Crucible crowd. That's what they're seeing. Looking good, Stephen.
Yeah, this is fabulous.
57.
As we've seen before, fantastic long red. And has capitalised on that superbly.
58.
And here we show you this with long red again. That was a must-make shot.
And of course then has the crowd applaud for the fact that he's got Ronnie O'Sullivan in the snooker's required situation.
65.
He played an excellent shot with the rest a little later on in that break where he had to pot it. So great to see Barry
66.
playing well.
And it's a sign of,
73.
obviously, the respect Ronnie's given Barry. The fact that every time he's got close, Ronnie's felt the need to raise a gear,
74.
to stay in front. He's had to play brilliant snooker to stay ahead of Barry.
I mentioned a few moments ago that the only thing he
81.
needed to improve was his scoring winner and frame at one visit. He's done that now. He's only had 1 century in this match, but it was a fabulous break of 133. Ooh.
82.
The reason he rolled through slowly like that because he's left now the perfect angle on the, as we see this red struggling, the angle he's got now is perfect to knock the other red off the cushion. Well done. Does the red still pass the blue? It does.
89.
And this is when you want to produce your best snooker, Will, isn't it? Live, Monday night, live on the BBC, the final session of the World Championship. There's no better place to play your best snooker.
I never found out, Stephen, but I'll have to agree with you because you obviously did it on 7 occasions.
92.
But this is really
93.
top draw. Well played, Barry Hawkins. His 5th century of this tournament, warmly appreciated by the packed audience. His family applaud as well. His 55th century of the Crucible this year. And he's been 8 centuries in this final now, which actually ties the record. And that, just to remind Stephen, was the Ebden-Henry game.
105.
And they had 4 centuries each.
$109. $140.
Needs an angle on this pink, and I don't think he's got a good angle. He'll do really well to get past the middle pocket here. So much so,
120.
he may be doubling the black. or trebling the black. It's close. Trust me, it's close. Trust me, it's really close. Well, that's the way to stop.
Remember it well, I'm sure.
Very, very special, and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. The analogy I'm going to give here for all the racing fans is what's happened in this. It's a bit like Frankel. Every time a good horse got to Frankel's quarters, he pulled away again and sickened them. And this is what it's been like in this match. Every time Barry Hawkins has got a little bit closer to him, it looks like he got a chance, he's pulled away again.
Okay. Back we go.
Oh, well, can Barry win 2 or 3 frames in a row? I'd really put the cat amongst the pigeons. You can see how Ronnie would react to that. Easier said than done. 2 cushions to line to the bottom of the pack here. We may have left the red, it's 2 up from the black.
Touching ball.
No, doesn't know 100% where the cue ball's going to end up. He'd be screwing back here, hoping to finish on the blue or maybe a bolt colour even.
Made sure of that, Stephen, didn't he, by putting that little bit of side on. You saw when it hit the cushion there, it just sprung off the cushion with loads of side. If he played it plain ball, it wasn't bound to get top side of the blue, and because the red was near the blue, he didn't want to risk playing for the blue. Couldn't have hit it better.
Yeah, Barry would be a little bit disappointed there at his escape. It wasn't a tough escape to get that cue ball safe. Such a innocuous shot. We know what Sullivan's like. He could lose a frame from this.
Five. Six.
Looks like the pink may have to go in the black spot, which won't be a problem. That should be a good thing for Ronnie.
Yes, looks like the red on the pink spot will pot, so
12.
he may be reluctant to pot the pink off the next red because he'll have to put the pink out of play. That's why he's leaving that red on the black spot, so he keeps the pink in open play on the black spot. It's got
13.
fabulous. I mean, the cue ball movement Ronnie gets with very little power, Stephen. I think that's the key on these tables, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see that the tip of his cue comes right back to his thumb, and then he's able to give him to go right through the cue ball. Timing is impeccable.
$18.
Of the evening's play has come from Ronnie O'Sullivan, and that was a shot you didn't see coming. Now if this red's on the cushion there's no problem, but if it's off the cushion these pockets are tough. Well done. An excellent chance to go into the pack. Barry played one of these this afternoon, Stephen. He's screwed into the pack, but this is not a pack you can screw into, is it?
No, I think the furthest red to the left, if he stuns into that one, I think that's the shot to play. He doesn't want to screw into it, as you say, because the cue ball can come back towards him. Oh, he's played that perfectly. He'll be unlucky if he's not on one here.
Well, I can't tell you, as Stephen suggested, how good did he hit this, and not to have an easier red than this. The red will cut into the middle, so he'll have to go in and out of balk again to get onto the blue.
Eight.
He's got an angle in the green. It's perfect to go into the bunch here off one cushion. All the reds are blocking each other, so I think that's the shot to play. It's a big target between black and pink.
And he's played it, Stephen, because he needs to make something happen at this end. Once again, he would have expected the pink and
11.
possibly the black to come into play at the same time. He's played two great shots in this break and has not been rewarded. This is tricky. I can't see how he can't kiss into the other red, so I don't see how he's going to get onto a colour here.
12.
Yeah, he's going to use the red as a stopper to slow down for the pink. Excellent shot. Just screwed off the second red, Stephen. He obviously knew that was on.
He can play off one cushion and cannon the red that's closest to the pink here. He would leave himself red to the right corner. He can also, just as he's playing a plain ball, which is just as good. Yeah, that's very good. The only thing that is maybe knocked one of the reds into a safer position.
18.
He's got a lot of reds to miss here when playing for the pink or the blue off this red, and he's played it pretty well. Well done.
19.
Now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to hold the spot here, but if he screwed back about an inch, it's okay. Still not a frame-winning chance where the balls are at the minute. Nothing hurts you more, Stephen, does it, when your opponent misses an easy shot and you go out and clear the table? This
5.
we'll get a chance to show you the red that Ronnie missed a few minutes ago, and this was it. How on earth does he miss that?
No, he's just flicked a little bit of right-hand side on, slightly decelerated with the cue. Just pulled the cue ball over to the right-hand side. So, but you're right. If Barry can win this frame from here, I mean, we've seen before in the match, as soon as he's got closer, Sullivan's just pulled away again. But certainly, I'll ask a question. And he's looking solid. I must admit, he doesn't look like missing.
Yes, he's looked as good as he has in the whole tournament. He played well against Ding
32.
Junhui, he played well against Mark Selby. Didn't play particularly well in the semi-final until the last few frames. But this is undoubtedly his best performance for the championship so far on the biggest stage. Oh, it's worth
33.
playing a little shot on the red and black here. He'd like to kiss the black, then he's bound to be on the red in the middle. But he may play for the loose red. What would you play here, Stephen?
I suppose if you're playing the cannon in the black, if you do miss it, at the very least you've got the red closest to the left corner. If you play at the right pace. Problem with playing for the one in the open is, if you don't get on it, it might be your only chance to be on a red. Well, in fact, he's played direct for this red and he doesn't want to be straight. Needs a bounce.
38.
Yes, fortunately, he's got the red in the opposite corner, which is not straight. But with this being off the cushion, as I just mentioned a few moments ago, these are tough. The pink's available should it go in. He's at the correct pace, give the pocket a chance. This now the big shot. Any harder, as it's hit the near jaw, this wouldn't have gone in.
Well, if this was a Sullivan playing his breaks in the first two frames,
45.
quite rightly would be give him all the praise in the world. So this is phenomenal snooker from Barry Hawkins.
It's all about the
46.
black and the red, isn't it? We know he can get onto this one loose red to the left of the pink, but in a couple of shots' time, he's going to have to find a shot to bring one of these reds into play. He's playing brilliantly at the moment, he really is. He's 34 in front, so red and pink
52.
is 41. So he needs another red and colour. So where does the next red come from after this?
Yeah, it'd be nice to have an angle in the pink to the right corner to follow through for even if you missed a cannon, you'd be on the red and the right cushion. Yeah, it's come too far across the table to play that shot, so he'll just be playing for the red.
53.
That's closest to the left corner pocket here.
This is the problem now. He's got to leave a angle because he needs a colour off this next red. Needs a bounce. He's got a bounce, so he can play for the pink in the middle. This is
59.
huge. This is the first time he's really punished O'Sullivan from an easy miss. Brilliant.
60.
How he's made 60 from here, Stephen, I don't know.
Brilliant snooker. That's all you can say.
66.
Now Ronnie will carry on should he miss it, so he could do with playing a good safety shot here.
Barry Hawkins.
It was an excellent break.
66.
Sometimes 66s are not enough, but at this stage it looks like it could be. Got to be a little careful. You can see him coming round to look at the angle that this red could be planting the green into the corner, so he certainly won't be making that happen. And he'll probably take this red on, trying to get onto the pink or black. As always at Sheffield on finals night. We've got a gentleman as Ronnie O'Sullivan goes in off, which I'm sure that'll be the end of the frame, but as
Barry
Ronnie,
Hawkins
the
fault.
gentleman that he is going to let Barry have the table time.
One.
Ronnie O'Sullivan didn't score in the first frame. He's scored 18 points in this frame, but missed a very easy red. I just wonder whether once again he can produce the form that Stephen talked about when he's gone behind or when he's looked in danger. He's just suddenly made a century.
6 and a frame.
Well, the red's not got in, but what a fabulous start from Barry Hawkins. 120.
Mistakes that he's made.
And we all know that over the years, and he's been 17 years a pro, he is one of the best match players that we've had around. He's very hard, he's rock solid, this man.
Absolutely, Hazel. You never get an easy match with Barry Hawkins, and we saw that in the semi-final where he couldn't pot a ball in the first 16 frames. His highest break was 47. Everybody thought there was no chance of winning the match. He went 4 frames behind at 12-8, and then suddenly, with the help, I'm sure, of his coach, Terry Griffiths, found the mindset to dig deep and eventually won, I think it was 6 or 7 frames on the trot to get back into the match, and 8 frames on the trot it was, and then, of course, he closed the match out in style. But Stephen, we've known Barry for a long time and we know what a great player he is, but to produce it at the Crucible in the final says a lot for his character.
A bad error from Sullivan there. Pretty straightforward safety shot there. I know the red was making it awkward on the right cushion, but it's not the sort of mistake Sullivan makes. And that's got to give Hawkins some heart as well. Yeah, it wasn't just the way he came back in his semi against Walden this last 2 sessions. It was the scoring power. He made 2 centuries, he made 60s, 70s, so he really found his scoring range, and he's continued that on in this final. Maybe landed just a little bit straight in this black. He can screw back for a red to the right centre.
Eight.
Yes, he's made 8 breaks over 60, including those couple of centuries. And the only thing, he's lost 3 or 4 frames from making a 40 break. So if he can turn all those 40s into 60s and 70s, because at this moment in time he's playing better than O'Sullivan. And there's another example. He looks like he really fancies the job.
Couldn't go into the pack with more pace there because the red and the cushion, the red to the right, was stopping him do that. He's played a nice cannon there. Still perfect position. We'd love to have an angle this time to go into the reds.
Yeah, the pack's now nice, isn't it? If he can get where he's pointing his cue there and then play the joint of those 2 reds just to the right of the cue ball at the minute, those reds will be perfect. Now has he got that angle?
70.
Not quite to be perfect, so he may have to play for the red along the cushion. He'll try and get that angle soon though.
$24.
The red was just off the cushion, and it just makes those
24.
shots tricky. But it was the shot landing straight in the black that was a careless one.
Yeah.
If there's one fault when he's in the balls, Willie, he tends to do that a lot, leave himself straight on the black.
I mean, even though he's managed to get position, he's done it about 4 or 5 times tonight already, but it didn't cost him. As you rightly say, that wasn't the bad shot, it was the one before. He looked at the angle he needed on the black and didn't get it. Now then, Mr. O'Sullivan, you've done it. Every time you've been in trouble in this match, you've produced.
Thank you. Thanks, Ronnie. 1.
That was the angle that Barry was looking for on his previous black. Play that little cannon there.
8.
And he couldn't have played it better because this frees another 2 reds. You can see there the 2 reds potting in
9.
this pocket as well. Not perfect on either red, but
16.
no problem in playing the red in the middle.
$70. $22. $23.
Now has an angle to cannon the red that's just to the right of the line of 4. He can play for the red that's open to the right hand side, but I think Ronnie will play the cannon. Well, in fact, he's just put the cue ball out. He has got a red to the left corner.
Didn't look on, Stephen, from our commentary vision, did he? I agree with you there, but at least he can bring the other 2 or 3 reds into play here with his shot, the fact that he's finished low.
31. $38. 39.
I feel pretty certain he'll make a cannon this time into the 3 reds. Well, I'm surprised he didn't. There, he had a perfect angle. I need to make sure he gets an angle this time.
Yes, he's running out of reds, Stephen, isn't he? These 3 reds are all not possible at the moment. So he's played
46.
purposely on the pink rather than the black there, because he can flick the red away and leave 2 reds in the corner. Very well done. Barry Hawkins missed a trick, didn't he, when he was in the
53.
balls, and we thought he was possibly going to win 3 on the trot, but as we've talked about all match, Ronnie with his back against the wall suddenly
54.
finds something.
Yeah, we talked about that Barry had to play almost perfect snooker tonight if he was going to win this match, and that meant every positional shot.
61.
No easy misses. I'm afraid he's done that in this frame, and it's cost him.
62.
Well, there's Ronnie O'Sullivan Jr. Remember him last year when Ronnie won the trophy? He's looking on intently, knowing that his father is just about to possibly stretch the lead to 4 again. So 45 in front, just the red
69.
to stop the little mini rot. What a time to do it. Hawkins made 127.66. Was on 24, missed that red we all know along the cushion that's cost him. Ronnie O'Sullivan's reply has been superb.
77. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Hawkins looks at the
77.
scoreboard. He's decided to carry on, but what a fabulous break from O'Sullivan that was. 53 in it, 43 on, so 3 4-point penalty snookers needed.
Thanks, Barry. Thank you. 1. Barry Hawkins.
Barry
won.
Hawkins decided that's enough.
Yeah, very
Ronnie
conceded.
O'Sullivan's
Very-
happy with that. Ronnie
Ronnie
O'Sullivan
O'Sullivan.
made a break of 77, and it reduces it. Well, he more frame before the mid-session interval. What he wouldn't do for a winning break in this frame.
Thank you. Frame 29. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
You'd always fancy getting the double kiss here, but Barry's played this really well, this shot. He's going to play now with check side back into balk. You'd think he'd be a certainty to get a double kiss, but he's missed the double kiss so far. Played it well again. Just pushed the red though over the corner.
1.
You'd have expected to be on a ball colour there with that red. OK, he didn't have a lot of idea where the cue ball would end up, but playing just in and out of ball.
Sullivan 1.
And I can only presume that must have rolled off on the slate. There's a slate there, and of course there's a crack in the slate, and it was very easy to get in behind the green. He's just having a little smile there. Let's have a look, see if we can detect it. Well, it's just pulled to the right.
Good lengthy cue ball, but he's left it right to the left corner here. Natural path, as long as he doesn't hit it too thin to go behind the black and the cue ball back up to baulk.
He'd have been coming out this evening, Barry, thinking if I can win 3 of the 4, just to put Ronnie under a little bit of pressure. He's got a chance to do that now if he can take this frame. Where's the red? Just managed to miss it. Good shot.
Yeah, we've said on a few occasions, haven't we? It's when your opponent needs 2 frames to win, you've got a little bit of leeway. If Ronnie gets to 17, obviously things will start to look pretty grim.
That was the problem. That's what Stephen Henry said at his last long shot he played. The angle was perfect, as long as he knit it thin. Exactly the same shot, only on the other side of the table. Completely mishit it. And what a chance for Barry Hawkins.
Well, what a time
1.
if he could possibly win the frame at this visit, because Ronnie was really irritated at that last miss, or that last miss-hit, because it was a complete miss-hit.
Yes, if he gets the pot, he goes round the back of the black, and you don't expect to hit them that poorly. I think he can get through to the red. It's nearest the pocket.
8.
No, I'm afraid he can't. There you can see it's not on. So he's got 2 more good shots to play to get back into position. He needs to get back on the... Oh, goodness me, he's missed that by a mile.
Barry Hawkins 8.
That's a shame, because he cued so beautifully in the opening 2 frames. I don't know whether he got a bad... Well, I can only presume he must have got a bad contact, because he did miss that by more than you could imagine. I think that was a bad contact.
Six. 7. 14.
He'll free the
15.
black pocket off the next shot, and then off the next red he'll be leaving an angle on the black to go into the pack. It's not great, because the red directly above the black is not under position. Maybe had to get low on that red to bring other reds into play. We'll just see what angle he leaves himself on this next black.
22. 23.
Unless the one pot's that's just below the pink, he'll be going into them. And there's another example of how to stun into the pack. Okay, he would like Barry a couple of shots, a couple of frames ago. A little
30.
unlucky not to be on anything easier. Couldn't have played that shot better. Split them beautifully. Stephen mentioned you don't really worry till somebody gets to 17. It looks like Ronnie O'Sullivan could get to 17 at this visit.
Yeah, it's been a case of one step forward,
38.
2 steps back in this final for Barry Hawkins. He just can't seem to win that third or fourth frame in a row, just to really get into this match. He's drawn level once at 7-7. Apart from that, he's just never been able to get close enough.
39.
To really put the pressure on Ronnie.
In the whole tournament, O'Sullivan
44.
only been behind once, and that was when Barry Hawkins won 3 frames on the trot to go from 2-0 to 3-2 in front, and that's the only time Ronnie's
45.
been behind. Every time, as Stephen mentioned, that Barry Hawkins is threatened, Ronnie's suddenly found another gear.
Yep, it's a sign of greatness. It separates the good players
52.
from the great.
$53. $58.
Choice of reds, one in the corner, one in the middle. Needs red colour, red to be sure of winning this frame and going to the interval at 2-all, and that didn't look like that was going to happen after the first two and a bit frames. Barry Hawkins hadn't missed a ball until the red on the cushion, which has cost him dearly.
$59.
Won't be playing, I wouldn't think, for the red on the cushion because it's missable. That's why he's played for the red in open play, to make sure of the frame.
66. $67.
Well, it's produced again. There's his family and friends. They'll be absolutely delighted the way when his back's against the wall, he's produced every single time.
74. 75.
Well, his son's in the crowd, his family and friends, Robbie and Debbie Corrigan. I don't know if that was Ronnie Jr. Just give him a little cheer there. He knows the frame's safe now.
82.
This is just wonderful snooker, isn't it? This 4 frames has been absolutely top draw.
$88.
Well, what a shame. I thought O'Sullivan was going to make a century.
88 on the
But what a
frame.
fabulous 4 frames of snooker. 127, 66.
Ex-UK champion Messrs Taylor and Virgo.
Barry Hawkins to break.
Thank you, Hazel. Barry Hawkins breaks off. And what he hopes is not his last frame. Can he produce the snooker that he did at the start of this evening? Breaks of 127 and 66. If you've done it once, Barry, you can do it again. He really did look good, John. I was watching that, and he never looked like missing, Barry.
Unbelievable. I think it's the best in the first frame when he made that marvellous 127. It's the best he's cued in this match. just had a bit of a setback when he missed a red along the cushion, but you could have seen him winning all the 4 frames before the mid-session interval, and then we would have had a titanic struggle. But that's what happened. You miss, and you leave Ronnie or Sullivan in amongst the balls. And he's just a magician. But you just get the feeling that Barry still believes.
Already going to be a little bit of an awkward frame with the red up the other side of the table. So behind the black is now the safety area. Not quite. Barry can play a better one than Ronnie. Can he judge it? This looks good. Just a bit too far, but still got it tight on the cushion. You can't get back with the white tucked up there.
At the moment, Barry in control of this little safety exchange, but with the red so tightly packed, it's hard to force your opponent into a mistake. But the target will be try and get that cue ball in tight behind the black again.
Oh, what's he done here? That was a little bit careless. Has he got enough angle to give himself a possible chance at the black? Might be able to come off the other red and get a bit closer to the black. No, it was a very difficult situation. He couldn't really play it any harder, striking over that red, and he just couldn't get. But he can roll tight up behind the black, off the cushion. Oh, that's a little careless. There's a shot for the middle now for Ronnie.
Hawkins 1.
He's not taking it. Good pot, but he was concentrating on the safety there. But that was interesting to see. He's not taking any chances, Ronnie. Looked like he could roll the other red to the middle, but he wants to wait for a better chance.
Yes, it was a good pot, but by the looks of it, doesn't look as though he snookered Barry, which is a little bit careless. So Barry may be able to get his cue ball back behind the black. And the reds are spread now. Purposely tried to play it into the green, but he didn't hit the green full enough. Well, he's left the red to the far left corner, but he could have left something easier.
A round of applause from Ronnie Jr. He's just overscrewed that slightly, but it's a little cut back. And it's there. How's the cannon? It's not bad. He's got the one to the middle pocket. If he can't see this one to the left corner, well, if he can see the one to the left corner, Barry knows that this is a great chance for Ronnie.
9.
I know there's a long way to go, but great champions usually finish in style.
16. 17.
You know, John, when you speak at dinners and that, and I usually do a little thing, who's the 3 greatest players that's ever played the game of snooker?
22.
And 2 of them are sitting in the studio. And since 1990,
23.
I said Stephen Hendry overtook the great Steve Davis as the greatest player that ever played. And I had Ronnie at number 3. But if he goes on to win this year's World Championship, I'd have to put him at the top of the list and say that he is the
28.
greatest player that's ever picked a cue up. My personal opinion.
Yeah, and I think the other 2 players you've mentioned will agree
29.
with you. The most natural talent the game has ever seen, there's no doubt. Somebody said to me the other day that if Ronnie wins the World Championship, what does that say about the other players? I said, well, all they can
36.
do is just say that they played in an era of greatness.
37.
And that's Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, he's the defending champion. He's won it on 4 occasions. It's looking good for a 5th at the
44.
moment, but he has a few more to pot yet. But it has to be said, Barry
45.
Hawkins in this final has been superb. He really has put up a fantastic display. And if he had been up against any other player, he could quite easily have been in front, John.
He's played absolutely marvellous, and I think really this will have done Barry the world of good. I know he'd be disappointed if he was to lose, but boy, has he proved to everybody who loves snooker that he is going to be a major contender in many, many World Championships.
50.
He's a great match player, and he's proved that he's got a great temperament.
Right.
Ronnie just having a quick look at the scoreboard. 50 points, the lead, 75 remaining. So just needs 3 of these remaining reds to be sure.
I'm sure Ronnie will say that Dr. Steve Peters has been a big help to him throughout this year's World Championship. He really has Ronnie in a very positive frame of mind. He's got him mentally in a very happy place, and that's the gentleman
54.
sitting there on the right, leaning on his knees.
55.
Ronnie does go and stay with him. He's got a room in his house that Ronnie can use. And this has been absolutely fantastic. Ronnie Jr., well, they're all very pleased.
And as you say, Dennis, like the true champion, he's finishing in style. We love the way he plays. And there's the little fist pump. Well done, Ronnie.
68.
And the thing to remember is that we love
69.
watching him play. And let's hope that this could just give him that urge to carry on.
Yeah, we don't want to hear Ronnie saying he's going to retire. The game needs Ronnie O'Sullivan, and it's very rarely you see that from
75.
the Rocket, but he must be
76.
feeling so good inside. But once again, Barry Hawkins has played his part in this year's World Championship. But this man has done something very, very special here this year. And listen to the crowd.
84. 86.
If he could get a century, it would be a record. It's not going to be a century, but what a fantastic defence of his World Championship. A lot of people didn't think Ronnie O'Sullivan